Bengals afford another loss to Lamar Jackson? We'll find out. But right now, Cowboys underdogs in Pittsburgh. Dallas will be missing Micah, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Brandon Cooks. The good news, however, bro, Dak is hitting his stride after a little 4-game warm-up. Take a listen.
Okay.
Playing solid football. I think if you broke down all 4 games, there's a play or two, a couple plays within that I want back, that I could do this, I could do that. It's a little bit of, guarding against trying to do more, as you asked me earlier. But I can tell you my best is damn sure I'm on the brink of it, and I feel like I'm stepping into that.
Okay, Brew. More likely for Dallas, an A game or an F game?
This is easy. F game. There is no A game coming without Micah and DeMarcus Lawrence. A game coming? No, F game. Mark it down.
Okay.
All right, F game.
F.
They are facing, Nick, one of the best defenses in the league, maybe the best, with no run game. You don't think Mike Tomlin, who everybody thinks is a great coach except Wilds, who just was taking shots at him a little while ago, you don't think he can figure out how to stop an offense that the quarterback's going to have to throw 40 times, and we know who you're throwing to. Brandon Cooks, not that he's been great, but he's not even playing. Wow. It's going to be all CeeDee Lamb all the time. And then, of course, the Cowboys' Achilles heel. I know Nick thinks they fixed it, but they can't stop the run. The Steelers run the ball as much as anybody else. They are tied for first with rush attempts, 138. Guess who the 2 teams they're tied with?
Baltimore?
Baltimore and New Orleans.
Yeah.
And we know what they did to the Cowboys. Now, the Steelers' run game isn't as good as those 2, but it's good enough. And so I see an F game coming. I see an L coming for the Cowboys.
Wow.
Yeah, didn't he also say he didn't have to be Superman? And that was another one of his quotes. He's going to have to be. He's going to have to be all the Avengers in order for them to be successful. Because when you look at it, his numbers are actually down from last year in terms of his quarterback rating and his touchdown percentage. So that's a problem. But what number that's up is he's getting sacked at the 2nd highest rate of his career, which is problematic as well. So now everybody knows you really can only throw the ball because you don't have a consistent, viable, threatening option to run the ball. They know who you have to throw the ball to. What, 70% of the time, 65, 70% of the time. So that's not gonna fool anybody. So now you've got to try to figure it out on how to beat a really good defense when they know it couldn't be any clearer in terms of what your path is to be successful. That's hard.
It's very hard, and it's why a win would by definition be an A game. Because of everything you guys said.
A win would be an A game.
Right. So that's why I think it's more likely they have an A game. Because I think they are going to win this weekend. I think that this is because of everything Bruce said. This would be a not definitional Dak game, but a real moment for Dak and CeeDee Lamb this year. Because everybody knows that is the path they have to win this game, and a real building block moment for their season with the hope and belief of we are getting Micah back at some point, we are getting DeMarcus Lawrence back at some point. So the reason I think Dallas can do it is I don't think Pittsburgh's offense is that scary at all.
No.
Justin Fields, by the way, has played well this year, and I give him credit.
Well, I think that's the real risk is if Justin Fields goes back to what Justin Fields
Oh, the read option stuff that what Lamar did.
No, not that. I'm saying that if the turnover, and Dallas has historically done a really good job of turning the ball over, and they got a lot of guys that can do that, especially in the secondary. That, to me, gives them their best chance of success.
So, listen, I think Dak can play great, and I think they can win this game. I think that it's probably obvious, but I'm going to say it anyway. You have to basically double-team T.J. Watt every snap. And I know that takes a lot of your variability of your playbook out, but you have either a rookie left tackle or a right tackle who can get overmatched depending on where TJ is lined up. And so whether it's chipping him or double teaming him, you're going to have to do that. If they do that, I think Dallas can get to 20 points. And I think that could be enough to win this game.
The Deuce Vaughn, TJ Watt chip block.
Yeah, well, that would. I wouldn't have Deuce Vaughn in there chip blocking him.
You think he'll?
I wouldn't.
Vaughn.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what that means. It's time for this segment. So hot, we put it into an ointment, and my grandmother rubs it on her knees when it rains out. It's upset alert. Here are the upset alert standings through week 4. Brew, 5.5 points. You've had several of your picks cover and some outright wins. I got an outright win last week, which was really easy. I just picked the Vikings. And Coach and Greg are running away with it. So, Coach, you are in the driver's seat. Who do you have this week?
Okay. I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals.
Wow.
This would, if this hits,
Another big
we're
one.
done.
I told you, swing for the fish. What, they going to have
Another
70
big
points
one.
if you get that one?
So the teams they lost to are combined 12-3. Okay, so they've lost to some really good teams. And you heard what Kyle Shanahan said about Kyler Murray and how good he's playing. Well, let's take a look at how good he's playing, because realistically, it matches up in terms of his completion percentage, TD to interception, passer rating, yards per pass, yards per rush are all the best except for one, which is second best of his career. So you've got that component to it. James Conner's running the ball really well. The connection with Marvin Harrison has come on and will continue to grow. But I think more importantly, this is so important to the Cardinals. This game is so important to them, where for the 49ers, as they look ahead, they play Seattle on Thursday night, and then they've got Kansas City. They could easily be saying, all right, we just got to get through this game because we've got to deal with the Seahawks on Thursday. So I think there's a dramatically different mindset going into this game. And for Kyler, he's probably tired of hearing about what a disappointment he's been, in terms of what he should be. And now his numbers are bearing out something totally different. So add in the San Francisco injuries. I like it.
Wow. If they win this one,
they're running away with it.
Yeah, you might not be catchable. All right. I obviously need to go big game hunting. All right, I need a huge upset
Just
here.
pick one that you want. Don't let the rules start to skew you.
I got to get back in this race. I can't be last. And I actually think this one could happen. Nick is not going to like it.
What's he doing?
But the Saints, we're going to have it on the bottom.
Yeah.
We'll go marching into Kansas City and get a win. Here's the thing, Nick. The Chiefs aren't going 17-0. They're going to lose to a team they shouldn't lose to, just like they lost to Denver last year, just like they lost to Indianapolis the year before. It just happens in the NFL.
Okay, sure.
All right? And I think the Saints are a pretty good team. Obviously, the Chiefs don't have Rashee Rice. We saw last year, at least during the regular season, even they had Rashee, but what they looked like without a good receiver at that. And Rashee was good, but not great. And so now they don't have him. I think that's going to be a problem. And the great Patrick Mahomes, and you probably know this, Nick, has lost his last 2 games on Monday nights.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Christmas Day.
Well, that wasn't night. That was day.
But Monday.
Oh,
Monday.
okay.
Monday
He lost to the Raiders. He lost to the Raiders on Christmas Day. And then before that, they lost to Philadelphia, which was about to spiral into its supernatural funk. I argue they were already in that funk. It was coming in, and Mahomes, lost those games. So lost his last 2 games on Monday. The Saints go marching in.
Like the pick, Brew. Like it.
Really?
I understand if you feel like the Saints are going to cover because the Chiefs play nothing but close games, even though they've oddly, they've beaten 2 of their 4 opponents by 7 that would cover this. Picking the Saints to win this game outright, especially with the injuries to their center and their left guard, where Chris Jones is going to wreak havoc the entire game, and it scared Derek Carr is not good Derek Carr. Also, the Chiefs' success this year against other teams' running backs, like their yards per carry allowed to the other team's primary running back is less than 3. I hate this pick for you, Brew. I want you to do well. I don't want Coach and Greg to run away with it. If you loved it so much, you would have picked it. Yes, you would have wanted to stick it to me.
I like my pick better. What do you I can love both.
2 big upsets.
Yeah, Wild's trying to go for 2 in a row.
Come on, Kevin.
It's time now for the Pucks Tonight Philly Football. Make his upset alert. Why do they call you Pucks Tonight Philly Football? Because
I didn't see you on the.
you live with fur and covered in log? Whatever. I don't play by the rules. I'm not trying to win. I'm just here to spit facts. The Dolphins are probably going to upset the Patriots.
1 point?
Is that even allowed? A 1-point upset?
I'm just telling the truth, okay, guys? It's something that I see happening.
They will.
So it hurts my heart. Unfortunately, the Dolphins are going to beat the Patriots. And I know what you're thinking. Hold on. I watch the show religiously. Didn't you say that since Tua's been hurt, that the Dolphins have been pretty much last
Awful.
in everything. Yards per play. Well, they're last in points, but yards per play, 31st, last in 30. Oh my gosh. The problem is, see that 31st right there? Gosh darn it. Not great. So if there's one team that they can't outscore, it's the poor Patriots. The reason why is we can't